good net.
A fresh grouper or not, babe. We got pretty low. Gotta walk the boat. Got no luck on bait, no cobia on the buoys. So now we're on a grass flat. Or really a sandbar flat, not really any grass on this flat. We're having a walk. Slow, get over it. What's going on, guys? This is Spearing with Slurpee. This is the first time I've ever done a voiceover, but figured, man, might as well give this a go. Seems like a lot of people tend to be recording this type of way while they're in the water, so you can sort of see what I'm doing and, you know, wondering why I'm just sort of swimming around looking at certain things or not spearing certain things. And like in this video right here, you sort of see a sheephead right here. I'm sort of trying to look how big he is. You know, I think the regulation is 12 inches on this sheephead, and he was probably 8, maybe 10. So I was just kind of like, yeah, this is sort of my first little shallow water drop. There's no point of shooting it, but sometimes there's some bigger ones that are swimming with them. So sort of just let them go. Maybe the 2 or 3 other ones that might be with them might be close by. And sheephead are pretty notorious for, if you stir up some bottom, they sort of come in and check it out. Like you see this one. This one came in, sort of wondered what was going on. That's just sort of a tip just to keep with fish in general. They're all curious. I mean, yeah, here's another sheephead I found right here. You know, just sort of peeking around. But in general, sheephead, snapper, grouper, you make some type of disturbance. They all sort of are just curious in nature. Like you see, I just saw a couple other sheephead swimming together. I'm just sort of feeling out the reef right now. They all know I'm here. You know, I'm sort of just like a big predator swimming around like a shark. So they start circling you sometimes. So every now and then I sort of turn around and see what's following me. Not just for sharks, but just in general. So I spent a little time on that rock right there. And that's all this is. This is about 5 to maybe 6 feet of water. And some of the rocks is about 3 to 4 feet. And I swim out to this other spot. It's probably 40 to 30 yards away from my first rock, over these grass flats into this deep sandbar. And I try to, stir up some sand to see if anything's going to come in the distance. And sure enough, the sheephead came in, and he was actually a pretty good sized one. And I stoned him, so I didn't even care to swim after it. I knew I got him, but it's sort of sketchy sometimes being a little bit of ways from your dive partner. But I knew this was a good little rock to go check that's slightly away from our main point. I never really get a whole lot on it. It's sort of just all by itself. I think it's just because it's a little deeper. There's not a lot of fish that tend to be on that. They want to be on the closer stuff. And there I am, just showcasing it to my dad. But as I'm swimming back, I ended up actually spooking a couple grouper. You can sort of see them right there. Just pointing at it. Just sort of wondering what I was doing. Probably could see the shimmering on the sheephead scales. And so now I'm back in the water. And those same grouper, we're sort of just hanging around. They're definitely too small. Like there's one right there. You know, he's probably 17 inches. I mean, not big at all. But there's another one right underneath him, right there. He was a little bigger. He was probably 19. And he pokes his head in this little hole, which I thought was kind of cool. This little black bass swimming right next to him. I mean, he was wedged up under there. That's all these groupers are, and just most of them are small in these shallow water dives that I do. There he is swimming again. I was grunting at him, just trying to get him to turn, so I just get some good videos of him. Sometimes it's pretty hard to judge the size of the grouper that you shoot, but what I've learned is if it feels like a monster, that's the one that's legal. If I have to question it for whatever reason, I know it's not the 24-inch size limit, and I don't even waste the time. And typically that type of thought process works pretty well, because once you spear a fish, you can't just if you let it go, just because of the regulation size, it's sort of just damaging to the fish. There's another grouper swimming around, so there's definitely a lot of little groupers, but I go back to that same spot to see if maybe there's another bigger sheephead swimming around in there, and I don't see anything. Just a bunch of bait, not even really any snapper over here. But you gotta be careful. Spearfishing in shallow water is definitely safer, I think, than deeper water, but it is murky. So these, I haven't really ran into any big bull sharks, but I know they're there. And you just gotta sort of just be mindful. You can clearly tell the visibility is probably 15 feet, 10 feet maximum. So it's not that great, and you don't really know what's out there. Even with boats, I mean, you gotta always sort of keep your head out of the water, which I do quite a bit in this. Looking around, checking on where my dad is, checking on where the boat is. A lot of people in typically the bay areas are not very intelligent boaters, and a lot of these rocks you'll even find busted props and lower units. We've hit quite a few. We've repaired about 2 or 3 lower units over the last 2 decades of spearfishing out here, but a lot of people don't know about these rocks, so that's what happens when they're just going through these shallows, just hitting them. And that's typically how we found some of the bigger ones, was we actually bumped into them. And that's what got us into spearfishing, was, hey, let's check out some of these rocks. We're not catching anything on them, and then we end up diving in and seeing exactly what's there, which majority of this is just snapper and some sheephead, and then every now and then I run into a very good sized grouper in these 4 to 6 foot patch reefs, which when it happens, people are always amazed. But get out there and look what's going on. So this is the 3rd spot, I believe. I dove in, and I sort of came in real cautiously. I'm not even at the main rock, but I stir up the bottom, and I see just all this life, all these snapper. I've never seen this many snapper other than a couple times this time of the year. This is, it's still May, so the water's not, I wouldn't say super warm. You know, it's in the 70s still. But knowing all these snapper came in, I'm like, oh, this is going to be a hot spot. I mean, it was probably close to 500 to 1,000 snappers swimming around. You can see some of the big ones, like that one right there, just teasing me in the front. But can't, you know, it's hard to focus. They're swimming in a school. But if you just sort of stay still, get some of the bigger ones to get real close to you to give you a good shot. And at the same time, you know, just kind of mesmerized just to watch them, see what they're doing. Typically when they start schooling like this too, maybe something bigger might come in, like a grouper might come in and try to, you know, be a little territorial. And typically you get, you know, 1 or 2 shots in these schools, and then they sort of just fluster. They sort of just move away. I'm just moving in real slow. Barely even kicking, sort of just my hands on the ground. The sheephead comes in there. I'm like, he's kind of good size, but I'm just not really looking for. I saw a bunch of these bigger snappers, and I was really wanting to snag one of them. I mean, you could have been here for a couple hours. Look at that, that's the one I wanted. I just couldn't slow down enough. I couldn't really figure out how to get to him. It didn't want to shoot straight into the rock either. There's another sheephead swimming by. I'm trying not to stay focused on it. I hone in on that one, and he gave me that right turn. Shot him basically right up under the gill through the mouth, so didn't ruin any of the meat there, which is great. There's 2 sheepheads swimming off right there. And this was a 14-inch mangrove. It was about, I think, 4.5 inches wide, about 1.5 inches thick. So it definitely was the sizes that you want. They have to be about 10 inches. You can keep about 5 a person. So I just reload my shaft in case I see something else. I could quickly pop off that snapper and get another shot on another fish. This will be the biggest one I've ever speared. Look at that one. That is a puppy. We can load up on some snapper. 5 a person. Oh, here we go. I'm back in the water. Drop that snapper off. And I'm just going to go back to the same spot I was. See a little sheephead right there on the way in. I was like, I didn't really want to shoot him. Over the past couple years, I actually haven't shot a whole lot of sheephead. Typically about maybe once or twice. There's a little grouper there, side note. I haven't shot a lot of sheephead over the years. I've noticed they sort of are like hogfish almost now. I think a lot of the spear fishermen out there are collecting them. Their numbers aren't as plentiful as I remember about 10 years ago. But you know, you still run into them. You still run into the big ones, especially in the shallow waters, which I do at the very end of this video, so stay tuned for that. But I'm pretty picky with what I'm really looking for. In this instance, I was pretty much mentally consumed with trying to get some of these bigger 14-inch mangroves. So I wasn't really bothered by the sheephead, unless it was one I was like, I gotta I gotta get this one. So I sort of just swimming around. I know these probably aren't the most crazy videos, spearfishing wise. A lot of guys are doing deep dives that I see all over YouTube, and I'm over here just sitting around in these, 4 foot water depths. But I feel like I can do it pretty much all day. You can see right here, there's these two grouper right there going in and out of that hole. That's that same hole from earlier that I speared that one. And this big snapper couldn't actually get in there because those two grouper were filling up the hole. And I wanted to hit them. It's not a good angle with the spear, but it was basically I was going to be shooting through them and hitting the rock on the backside, and I didn't really want to poke it. I was like, I could do it right there, and then he didn't actually give me a good turn at the very end when he got off the rock. And definitely don't want to chase after snapper. Little tip there. I mean, they'll always come right back. If you chase them, they're just gonna keep swimming off. They won't bat an eye at you. They'll just keep going. So I stopped messing with those snapper. I figured give them a little break. I was gonna go check a couple of these other little rock patches that are in this area. This whole area right here, we call it table rock, because at some depths that main platform rock right there was, I mean, it could be about a foot or two out of water, and people hit it all the time. It's where I find most of my lower unit boat parts. As a joke. But so I had just swimming around the outside edge of this big rock and seeing if I could see any flounder. I'm just sort of looking in the sand. I'm really focused on grouper, and I come across this sheephead right here. Pretty good size one. I was like, I gotta take this shot. But the shaft actually didn't go all the way through him. I had a couple other shots earlier, and I think I sort of lost my sharpness on the shaft there, and I need to regrind it. You can sort of see it's not very sharp at the end. It's sort of blunted. So I reband up, and I'm going to go try to find it again, because I know I hit him pretty good, right behind the head. And he actually only swam about 10 yards from me. I'm right next to the boat too, which was pretty crazy. And he's just hiding right there. Big. He was probably 18 inches. Get a shot, actually hit him again, and it again doesn't stick in. So that was really frustrating, because now he's got 2 holes in him, and I still don't have him. So I hate to see fish suffer. And I actually could never find it. I spent about 20-25 minutes swimming around in circles around this little spot, trying to see if I could find them. Maybe even swim out to where the grass are. Sometimes they'll hide out in the grass, and I just couldn't find them. And I knew I wouldn't say I was wasting time, but the winds were going to pick up later in the day, and I wanted to be able to get some other fish in the boat. Maybe I'll run back into them.
I speared a huge sheephead over there 3 times, and I don't know where he is, but he's got a big hole in him.
So that was me just talking to my dad real quick. I was just telling him that I messed up, shot three times. I didn't get the other 3rd shot on video, but I did shoot that sniper or sheephead 3 times, and I could not get him. So frustrating. Sharks gotta eat though, so sometimes a tax collector will come. This was a 3rd shot, or I guess my 2nd shot at a snapper, and somehow I didn't hit him. I did not know how that happened, but I thought I was pretty dead on him. I mean, I was within 2 feet of him, but I think I shot just over the top of the head. And now we're towards the end of the video. I'm looking for that sheephead that I shot, a couple times, and I'm sort of just checking the bottom, see if I could spook any flounder up off the bottom. Sometimes they're very hard to find. And I stir up the bottom a little bit, see if some sheephead will come in, or something else a little bit more curious. And this is when I find a big 21-inch sheephead, and my camera died, and I started it again, and I got a little footage of the sheephead, but this one was a beast. Alright, like I said, my GoPro died, and now I'm back at the house. This is a photo of what we got for the day. So yeah, make a comment if you guys like these types of recordings, and I'll do these in the next videos. If not, I'll probably still do them regardless. So, God bless. What's going on, guys? My camera died while I was spearfishing. So that's Teal looking at what we got today. This is the biggest snapper I speared today, and I speared this jumbo, amazing sized sheephead. I think I speared these two, and my dad speared those two, and then my dad speared those two snapper. But yeah, so camera died as soon as I speared this one. I had to restart it, and the chaos was just me basically playing with them, and then the camera died again. So I think I got 2 of them or 3 of them on actual camera, and then the rest my dad speared, so I didn't get those on camera. But it was a pretty solid day. We haven't had this many solid sheephead in a while. Definitely not these type of slab snappers. I mean, that's the hand size on them. That's pretty solid snapper right there. I'm probably gonna measure this one and out just to see. But if you didn't know, sheephead got little human-like sheephead teeth. I mean, they're pretty gross. But anyways, hope you guys liked the video. Like, comment, subscribe. More videos coming, because it's summer season and time to spear. So get out there. God bless.